are live.
Nah, we not live.
We live. We live.
Just the two of us.
Yeah. Somebody's running a little bit late.
Just us two. What it do, snackers and snackers? It's your boy Gage. Sin is in the building. Jokes in the building. I can't. We're gonna call it traffic. That's what we're gonna say. What up, Brooks? What up, Marcus? Good to see you guys in the comments. Marcus, since you just decided to jump straight in asking for the smoke, I'm gonna just let you and Sam have it. I'm just gonna sit back for a second and let y'all do y'all thing. Let me just.
So look, apparently people have been asking me have you seen this? Have you seen that? Recommend me some animes to watch that I might not have ever seen, and it's been hit and miss. So he decides to step up. Mark decided to step up to the plate and say, "Hey, got this job for you. It's dope. The King's Avatar. Check it out." I'm like, all right, bet. You say it's fire. I'm gonna check it out. B, I checked it out.
And
I thought this dude was supposed to be able to pick good anime. I'm just saying. Man.
The clown assignment. What up, Cuddy? Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, look, dog. Look, it's 2 seasons, a movie and some OVAs. I just watched the 2 seasons. The first season, I'm sorry, but production value is just bad. Like
is it a good story?
It is, but here's the problem with it. It's a Chinese animation show. So the game is based in that overpowered character in the video game world type of thing. So since it's so based in gaming, whatever. Look, since it's so based in Chinese gaming culture, a lot of stuff you don't understand what they're talking about when they're referencing.
Hey, Christopher Craig, if you don't get out the comments
and get in the video, right?
What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
He's supposed to be driving
he'll fix it.
Or pulling up or whatever. But
Marcus said you straight up whack, bro.
Whatever. Nah, just hear me out. Like I said, this joint is based in Chinese gaming culture, and so there's a lot of things you don't understand. Like
you don't understand?
No, because Chinese gaming culture is way different from ours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like certain references they would use, it would take a while. Okay, that must mean PvP, I'm guessing that they're talking about, but they call it something different over there. And how they're look. The storytelling. The story is cool. I'm cool with the story and what it's kind of like about. Its execution, I have problems with at times. The animation, the action is full of action, but it's all just big, flashy moves. They're going to pan the camera around him 100 times while we see he can spin a staff every which way. I get it at this point. But second season definitely upped the production value and made it a lot more tolerable. But still, the story overall is just tricky to follow points, especially if you're not in that world and that culture. Because one thing it doesn't do that would be a big help to it, it doesn't explain the game to you. Like usually with this type of...
Let me just make sure I got this. This is not anime.
It is anime.
All right, who made it?
China.
That's not anime.
I'm with you, but... I'm
trying to listen. We gotta listen. At some point, we have to establish some rules and stick to the rules.
Right. It's drawn very anime style.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. All right, look. Here's the thing, Marcus. Find another joint, right? Throw this in. I need. Let me just explain something to you, okay? Sin, how long have I known you?
Wow, a very long time.
Couple decades, right?
Yes.
All right, so here's the thing.
I do admit, Marcus, I'm more interested in the live action to see if a live action version of it in different ways they might approach it would correct the issues I have with the animated version.
If there's anything like how they kung fu flicks are, then sure. All right, here's the thing, Marcus. I need you to understand this. Matter of fact, everybody else, all right, Jokes, I see you just walked in. We're prepared for a little mess up in the scene when it happens. J. Robert Deans, welcome to the show.
What's happening?
Here's the thing. Sin is the biggest hater I know. And I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of haters. And when I say that, what I mean by that is like, even when he actually does like something, the initial I don't really want to like it always pervades. Like it always sits in the top. So you just kind of have to realize that like it might take a while. He started out like, nah, joint fluke, whatever. But then he was like, all right, you know what though? First season, it was a little hard. And then second season, it got,
here's the thing.
I mean? Like,
honestly, it's okay. I have a lot of issues with it personally, but overall, it's just okay.
Would you recommend it to somebody else?
No.
Who you know likes anime?
No.
All right.
There's plenty others in that genre I would recommend before I would even come down. Genre. Yeah, before I would get down to that one. And that's if they're looking for something very specific in that category. I'm like, well, if you've seen all these others, you got King's Avatar. You can try that.
You can check that out.
Yeah, but no, I wouldn't recommend it. The King's Avatar.
Oh, nah, J. Robert Deans, you are definitely not the biggest hater I know. I just don't agree. My taste and your taste just don't agree. That's what that is on a lot of things. Not everything.
Hey, look,
you know what I mean?
Noah said he agreed with me.
It's not necessarily hate. What happened?
Noah said he agrees with me.
Yeah, but y'all cousins.
Yeah, but we both watch. We both.
All right, hold on. Hey Noah, it's in a hater. Just answer the question. You don't have to put no context on it or whatever. Like, just you know what I'm saying. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Right now, we just kind of. He said, "Nah." All right, I'll take that. He is your cousin though, so he's supposed to. Right now we just kind of piddling around or whatever until Joe's get in. Not that we really need him for like the main conversation of what the show is going to be about today. Which, by the way, you're watching Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
And today, Jokes is late, which is cool. I dig it. See, and I feel you on that. Noah. We're gonna talk about WandaVision for sure. Facts, Mari. We're gonna talk a little bit about Netflix, things that are happening with HBO Max. We're gonna talk about DC Infinite launching tomorrow.
Haven't seen it.
Hey, listen. Let me listen. Look.
Now I gotta fix it.
Okay. Fix it. Hey, listen, I just want y'all to know that I can tell where the priorities lie because I saw Joe pop on the Xbox Live before he jumped on the show. So I just want y'all to know where the priorities lie because my man jumped slam on the Xbox before he even jumped in the live show that he knew.
Oh, no. Actually, no. My Series X is not on. Tatiana is on the One X in the living room. Haha.
Hey, listen. She signed into your account. Could you please get your girl her own account?
She actually does, but you know what? It's always easy for her to just turn the box on with my controller. My controller is set to automatically log into my profile.
Did you get her own controller?
Not yet. Not yet.
You need to take care of that. Valentine's Day coming up, man. She might slap you for getting a controller for Valentine's Day. Don't do that. Don't do that. And listen.
But I'm here.
I feel like Tatiana's open hand is serious, so I don't want you to have that. I do. Sam, would you agree? If you
I
had
agree.
to guess,
I agree 100%.
That is not.
That's not an open hand you want to get caught.
That is not the Buddhist palm you want a piece of at all. Listen, I've already started watching Lupin, and here's the thing. I mean, it's not the same thing as the anime Lupin the Third, but it is based in the same story because they're based on the same books, which I think is really cool. Yeah. It's but I guess technically Lupin the Third, who would be like the third grandson, who the anime is based on, technically is in the show. He's like a child though, so this would actually be. If I followed what I did see correctly, listen, I'm watching in French with subtitles, so just, but if I'm following it correctly, this is actually about, I guess, Lupin the second.
Oh,
but
okay.
He does pass the book down to the third in it, so it may go that far. I haven't watched as far as I want, but yeah. Been waiting since last night, son. Nah, last night was a whole different thing. I had to work. That one was my fault. I mean, not really my fault. You know, this is kind of how life works. Okay, so here, now that you're here, Jokes, let me properly. How are you?
I'm good, man. I can't complain.
All right. I'm glad you made it okay. I'm sure you were speeding and probably should not have been. I'm glad you got in safely.
Not
now,
modestly, but maybe a little.
Modestly safely, or modestly speeding.
Modestly speeding.
Okay.
Got it. So far I'm digging it. I'm digging Loopman for sure. So let me do this before we dig into the show. Happy Inauguration Day.
Yes.
The winds of change. We're gonna leave it at that. We need to talk about WandaVision. We are going to, in this particular situation, try to avoid spoilers for anybody who has. You know what? If you're in the chat and you haven't seen WandaVision, just say so.
I know.
Quickly,
fix that, though. Yeah,
just say so. I mean, yeah, but you know, what I would like to do is from each of you get overall impressions of the first 2 episodes without getting too heavy into details. And then I have some very specific questions I want to ask J. Robert Deans. See, and it's not even, J. Robert, that we have such differing views. You just slow to the plate. It's Wednesday. This was last Friday. Stay with us so that you can be here, because I don't like when you have to leave the show before we can do it. Kay, what are you doing? What were you? You know what? I don't need to know what you were doing last Friday, okay? But I appreciate you. Hey, Heather, what you doing? How are things? Wonderful days. Listen, just give me overall impressions of the first 2 episodes in like 3 words each.
It's okay.
That was literally my 3 words. I was gonna, that was literally right there.
All right. I generally consider okay to be 1 word. It is okay. It's 3 words. Yeah. Okay, I'm with it.
Okay, it is okay.
I'm with it. And that's how both of you feel. It's okay.
That's how I feel.
It was okay. Okay. I more or less agree. I think the first 2 episodes may be better after the next couple of episodes.
Gotcha.
But here's what I want to know. Where do we think it's going? This is what I want to know. Where do we think the intention of WandaVision is to take us? I'm talking like grand scheme, full-on predictions. What do you think the purpose of having this show in the first place is leading us towards, as essentially the first piece of MCU we're getting for this phase? Sin, I'll start with you, sir.
I think this is going to help. I think the whole point of this is to help develop the idea of the multiverse for everybody who may not be hip to it. I think that's its main focus. I think that's what we're seeing. I think that's what's going on in her head, a universe that she is formed to kind of hide away in, while entities are on the outside trying to get in to her head or whatever. I think that's where it's headed. I think that's its main focus.
Okay. Now, I want to ask a question about that. Do you think that what is happening in her head, and I'm with you, I think that probably what's going on is happening in her head in some manner, maybe controlled in some way by someone else too or whatever. Do you think it qualifies as a universe?
Well, it is Scarlet Witch, and we know how powerful she is.
She don't make universes though. I mean, she can change the reality, which,
yeah.
But she don't make. Now listen, they can do whatever they want with her power in the MCU, but if they go that far, I'm gonna cry foul. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna cry the whole foul. I mean the whole bird, bruh. Pop, fly, right into the bleachers behind home plate. I'm crying foul. 2 syllables foul, bruh. Foul.
Okay.
You hear me?
I hear you.
I would have an issue with that.
I hear you.
Okay. Like some early laws. What you missed, Ty? You missed jokes being late. Y'all showed up at about the same time, so technically you on time, I guess, this time. Welcome to the show.
Ty's always late.
Marcus said it's average. J. Robert Deans, you know what? Writing is probably more important than watching this new stuff. I respect that. I definitely respect that. Hey, listen, one more time. I know I've said this before, but listen. If you haven't, go make sure you're following J. Robert Deans. Check out his Patreon. Follow him on Facebook, all that kind of stuff. That gentleman has some genuine hilarity in his system. I want y'all to know. Heather, I agree. Could be like some early loss. Marcus, it was average. I feel you on that. Ty says if it doesn't pick up by episode 4, I'm out. I've learned my lesson about Marvel TV shows. You're not trying to watch Timmons as much. Listen.
Nah, you gonna get back into it. This is time to the MCU.
First of all, Tenet was better than the first 2 episodes of this. You know what, Mari? I agree. Yeah. I hear you on that. I just want to binge it. I respect that too, though that will not be allowed. Listen, shows like this kind of stuff is designed for water cooler talk. It just is, right? Like what's going on, creating speculation. That's probably my favorite thing about what is happening right now is, and MCU is good at it, creating speculation. What's going to happen? What are they actually doing? What comic books are they pulling from? What pieces are they going to use and not use or whatever? Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions. What do we think? Where are we going? What is happening here?
I'm a little similar to where Sin is. Like I do believe there's somewhat happening in her head, but I think this is going to start to show us more or less like how strong she really is. I really do think we're going to see how like she's possibly like the reality around her is getting bent. Maybe she's been contained within it. So not like the massive world, say like how House of M per se, how like mutants were kind of an afterthought, never existed type of thing. I'm wondering if maybe it's been contained somehow on a particular scale. But I don't think this is necessarily the multiverse, but I do think it's going to explore how strong she really is in the things that she really can change.
Okay.
Potentially, with the combination of like the Sorcerer Supreme, I think her abilities meld pretty well with what they can do. And I think that's where maybe we start to see that involvement eventually, maybe with Doctor Strange. Like, I know you can warp reality and do these type of things. You know what? We could kind of use your help. Something along the lines of that. But I do think it is, though. I do think reality is being warped somehow. Mm-hmm. And it's just she's causing it, and it's somewhat inside of her head. Like, as much as I hope, like, I would like Vision to come out on the right side of this, but after the events of Infinity War, I'm still a little skeptical about what's going to end up happening with Vision.
Okay, listen, Slim's dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think people, one of the things about this is I kind of feel like this is being done because I feel like people felt like they didn't get enough of Vision. Like you really don't, Age of Ultron, you don't get Vision until the very end. You see him do a little something, then you see him in Civil War.
And then you don't.
And that's basically it, bro. Like you don't really get, and you never really get to see how strong, how powerful Vision really is and what Vision can really do. And so more or less Vision is the only real like throwaway character that was introduced as an Avenger and then other than Quicksilver.
But I mean technically he wasn't an Avenger. So.
Well, he told him if you go outside, you're an Avenger.
No, he was an Avenger. Because if you step outside,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you say step outside, you're an Avenger.
Right,
yeah,
you're an Avenger. So
you are an Avenger. Now listen. Now hold on. You know what? let's walk that path for a second. Cause I just want to say, and I'm gonna get to what y'all are talking about in it. First, Mari, you can binge that after you see Steven Universe. Cuddy, you're right. It probably will be better when you can watch it all in a row. I do believe this is building to something. And again, I think it was super important for them to release 2 episodes back to back. Because if they had only released the first one and made us wait a week,
that'd have been a problem.
Disaster. Who gave Hawkeye the authority,
the permission
to make anyone an Avenger?
I mean,
listen to me.
Hey,
listen to me. And listen, I understand you're fighting for your lives. The entire city might be getting ready to fall. But who told you you could go in this room and tell this child, if you step out there, you on the team? Hey. What? Said who? Did you discuss this with Kat? I don't remember that. I missed that part.
Nah.
You know what I'm
saying? I don't think they had that meeting.
I don't. And listen, everybody was synced up. He could have said it so everybody heard it. I don't think everybody heard that. I feel like there was a discussion afterwards. I feel like there was a discussion that happened after that movie that should have been at the end of the credits that we ain't gonna see. Like, listen, Clint,
I think we would have got that.
You was a bad guy for the whole first Avengers movie. You don't get to come in here and start making.
If he would have died, we'd have got that conversation at the end. If he wouldn't have died, like, so really, you just gonna make him a part of the team now, for real?
Like what?
We don't do that.
Oh yeah, especially if Quicksilver had survived that.
Yeah, they'd have had that. Yeah, Tony would have had that conversation with him.
Come on, dog. You can't be on the team. You can't be on the team.
We don't even like you.
I don't like this. You're not even the right Quicksilver. The Quicksilver was in a different movie. I think you're both kind of right about where this is going. Because we know Doctor Strange's movie is subtitled "And the Multiverse of Madness." If in fact Scarlet Witch is going insane, which is highly possible, like, we're probably looking at someone who is extremely powerful going through PTSD in the worst way.
Agreed.
Because none of the people that she lost, like, she lost her parents. That was Stark's fault. She can't even look at him and yell at him now. He gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The person who she survived it with was her brother. He's gone. The person who she was left with by herself when everybody else was like, oh, nah, she messed up. She killed some people from Wakanda. You know what I mean? They locked her in the house. That was Vision. He's gone. And everybody else who ended up gone came back. None of her people, none of her folks came back.
Yeah.
It's very easy to imagine that she's extremely lonely and has created a world where she's not alone, right? Mm-hmm. And if she begins to lose control of it, if the people who are on the outside, which is what it seems like, trying to get in or figure out what's going on or whatever, if that makes her angrier or does something else, then yeah, I mean, that madness part of the multiverse of madness probably does lend itself to her, and we know that she's going to be a major figure in his movie, and we know that he is going to be a figure in Spider-Man's movie,
right?
And they're probably doing Spider-Verse. So, do either of you think what's happening here has anything to do with how we get mutants in the MCU?
I think it could be a part of it. I definitely think taking elements of House of M, like, granted, I don't think they're gonna fully adapt House of M the exact way that it was, but I think she is a good catalyst for between her and Doctor Strange and being able to tap into different universes. I think that is probably the perfect catalyst. I almost want to think that maybe there's a potential that she actually is becoming to be the villain, almost in multiverse. Maybe not the big bad villain, but something along the lines of maybe she is super gone out of her mind. And you know what? Doctor Strange is the one that's kind of there to try to figure out and help her get back to where she is. But I do think she's going to be that, or a villain.
She's gonna be
that's
the
gonna
catalyst
to bridge all of this together. Now, the funny part, like, kind of, they just announced like Deadpool coming. Like, I would laugh hilariously if they ended up he just randomly popped through a portal or something and just, hey guys, where's Wolverine at? And they're like, who? Like, just something stupid on his side. But I think she's gonna be half the bridge, and I think Doctor Strange is gonna kind of be the other half of that bridge.
It's possible,
and that's what's gonna create that. And maybe we won't. And then maybe we won't, like, as much as we don't need all the X-Men. Maybe the bridge is created. Deadpool comes in, mentions Wolverine, and then he's like, "Oh, there's no one here by that name."
You seem to be so tied to them mentioning Wolverine. I don't think they mention Wolverine at all. I don't even think he shows.
No. It's just it's just more of a Deadpool, like a Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman type of thing. Like, I feel like they would end up like breaking the fourth wall, like, again, to kind of do it with it. So maybe he won't ask for Wolverine. Maybe it'll be, hey, I'm looking for this Hugh Jackman, or maybe he has the mask. I don't know, something stupid, just something Deadpool stupid that just includes him like that in there for it.
I mean, Vision could be Mephisto. True. That's an interesting thought. I would say that I think that Mephisto is probably one of the other characters. I mean, all the characters who are in the town are characters that have names that match characters from somewhere in the comic books. It's probably not Vision. If anything, maybe, because they also seem to be drawing from Spider-Man One More Day, which is where he made a deal with Mephisto in order to save Aunt May. So there could be something that has to do with that. J. Roberts, what I do want to say is that I am also huge fan of the TV shows of the time that the first two episodes are mimicking. When I say, like, most people know I Love Lucy, most people know Bewitched. I don't even know if most is the right way to say it now. Most people, at least in my age range, know those or saw them in reruns or whatever. But, like, their references to other shows, like, I very much so was Mr. Ed, Dobie Gillis, My Three Sons, Gidget, Father Knows Best, like, all of those shows. Like, I am down to, like, the fact that those shows have some of the best television theme songs ever created. So, like, definitely into that, but I think that after the first two episodes, that's all you're going to get as far as that's concerned. It now seems already that they're getting away from the black and white thing and moving into color. And while they might move into, like, 70s era stuff or something like that, right? Which could mimic some other shows. We'll have to see what they do. I don't know exactly how that will pan out. I mean, maybe they get into, like, late 80s. I don't know, Who's the Boss? Like, you know what I mean? Or something like that, and start referencing shows from there. But I don't think that they're going to continue to reference the shows. My personal opinion is, I think that either for her growing up in Sokovia, these are the kinds of shows that she was able to watch. And so that's what she knows. And so that's kind of how she's based and created her reality on, because nothing in her life has actually ever been like that. Slash, it is very possible that during the time when she was sequestered in the house with Vision, as he was trying to learn more about humans and their behavior and so forth, they were probably watching shows, reruns, and things like that together to kind of help him learn about being or acting more like a human. Is what I think. They certainly could do some Three's Company, but I don't think with the twins. I thought Three's Company, and I was like, I don't know with the kids whether or not that would be the route that they would go. I would think they would reference a show that maybe had family in it. And I think Brady Bunch has too many kids. You know what I mean? But certainly they could do that. I don't know if I want a full. We got enough Full House with Fuller House. I'm good. But if they do a Family Matters reference, I'm all in.
Hey, that'd be kind of dope.
I'm all in. Mari, we're gonna have a talk about this starting Titans thing. But okay. Listen. we'll see what happens on the next episode Friday. We're only a couple days away.
Yeah.
We are going to continue. If you're unaware, we do have our own MCU chat. So if you're unaware, if you do a search for MCU chat, it is a private group. You do have to request to get in. We'll let you in if you're not in. We do have our spoiler thoughts, and we have an area there within MCU chat just for people to speak spoilers so that we don't ruin it for anybody who hasn't watched or hasn't seen it. So it's easy to avoid. So we will continue to post our spoiler-filled thoughts there every Monday. And then for the Patreon, like we're chopping it down to like 15 minutes or so for what we'll post there. But Patreon members will get to see the full 45 minutes to an hour and get our full thoughts as we do that. The Full House thing could be dope because she's an Olsen, but considering the fact that the Olsens didn't decide to participate in Fuller House, maybe if she sides with her sister, she might decide against that. But you are correct.
MCU chat link is in the chat, y'all. So if you're not a part of it, easy click, you can join up, and I'll prove that while I'm sitting here.
There you go.
Let's talk about Netflix for a second because Netflix. Time is 9:03. Timestamp. So Netflix is now over 200 million subscribers.
Okay.
They added like 8.5 million subscribers in the last quarter. They added 37 million subscribers over the last year. And they did like 25 billion in revenue with like 2.5 billion in profit, which is up like 76%. Which that is global. Appreciate that, Ty.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Ty. Yeah, like, so here's the thing. Obviously, we talk about this on a regular basis. Streaming services are just kind of eating up.
Right.
Netflix comes out and announces, hey, we about to just, every week, we just dropping movies. They dropped the new joint. I can't think of the name right now. With, what's the name? That's the new Captain America. Falcon. He got a new movie on there where they like soldiers.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I heard it was okay. I haven't watched it myself. I heard it was okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Disney is not doing terrible with their subscribers. HBO is struggling a little bit with their subscribers by comparison. Peacock is mostly free. Discovery now has Discovery Plus. And I'm gonna tell you something. I probably haven't turned on Netflix in like 2 months.
I'm right there.
When was the last time you looked at something on Netflix?
Probably before. Honestly, it's probably even before that. Actually, I will tell you actually when it was. Transformers, the show that came out, the newest one. That was the last time I was in Netflix.
Okay. That was a while ago. That was like, I'm gonna say like October or something like that.
Yes, that would have been the last time I truly was in Netflix.
You want me to tell you what's magical about that? You didn't unsubscribe.
Oh wait, who said that I'm paying Netflix right now?
Lord, you didn't unsubscribe. I mean, I know you have it through your, whatever.
Nah, somebody else is subscribed. So
that's what I'm saying. But like, you're not unsubscribed. That's the point, right? Of like what the streaming services are. Correct? Is to you there. The content is there. We know content is king, right? And everybody's fighting for content. Netflix owns so much data right now.
Facts.
They own so much data.
Been around for a long time.
Cobra Kai season 3 twice. I mean, you know what? Let me tell you something. That might be Netflix's strongest get in the last
right now.
like
Yes.
2 years.
Yes.
Just listen, just in terms of a show that was like a straight YouTube original, that they was like, you know what? We'll yoink that joint. You know what I mean? We'll have that.
Breathe some life into that thing.
And listen, and I'm gonna tell you something. I haven't watched a single episode, and I don't have any intentions to. I am not interested in the slightest.
Same thing.
Yeah, too. That's
Not
like where
in
I'm at
the
too.
slightest.
Same thing. I have no desire to go watch it. None.
I agree, though. It was absolutely a power move. I'm not interested at all. And and here's the thing. All of my friends, everybody from my era, all of us original Karate Kid kids, everybody's like, yo, Karate Kid is amazing. I can't believe, like, I know people who were watching it when it was on Netflix. People who paid to watch it on Netflix. I'm not interested in the funkiest.
Not even a little bit. It's
I'm not,
amazing.
listen, I'm not saying it's not. You know what? I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah, I was watching.
I'm a little bit scared I'm so picky. I'm so picky about like fight choreography, stuff like that in movies and whatever. Like I'm super
King's Avatar. Sorry. Gotta get that out.
shots at Marcus. shot. Ty, I'm tripping because I'm not interested. Are you telling me right now? Thank you, Jay Roberts. Couldn't give two wax awesome. no Jay Robert D's right now. Listen, Ty, are you saying I'm tripping because I'm not interested? Are you telling me that the action scenes of Cobra Kai are worth my attention? Because if I put on Netflix tonight,
don't get put on the chopping block, Ty.
I'm going on vacation. I ain't going to work for several days in a row. If I turn on Cobra Kai and I see one bad kick, Ty, we having a fight, bro.
I'm
I agree. Mandalorian could learn a lot from. I mean, listen, that's. Y'all know my favorite thing about Karate Kid is Mr. Miyagi, who's not there. He's not there.
No.
At all. Attack on Titan and Cobra Kai. Them joints in the same sentence.
What?
Attack on Titan.
There's no way.
So do I have to,
I'm not even started Attack on Titan yet, and I already know there's no way.
Attack on
Action
Titan.
scenes are so-so.
Attack on Titan's fire right now.
It's the completion of Daniel Johnny's story.
All right, at least that's honest.
Is it though?
I thought the story was done back then.
I mean, here's the thing. Realistically, but here's the thing. I was not ever looking for more Daniel.
Neither was nobody was.
Like, I mean, some people were apparently though. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like,
Nah, I'm gonna binge it, Marcus. I'm waiting until it's done.
Marcus, he never watches.
Nah.
This is why we never have conversations about it.
I'm gonna binge it that
always have to
weekend.
wait till the very end.
Listen, Marcus about to try to get that jacket up off you. Like, how you ain't watched the joint? You got the
hey, look, somebody who recommends for me to watch the King's Avatar better keep his mouth shut. That's all I'm saying. All right, right now he 0-1. Okay, just straight up. He gotta go to the back of the line before I take one of the recommendations again.
Now, man, you gonna have to keep track of these records because it sounds like this is about to be a thing for you.
Right now he 0-1. I got somebody up next.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, J. Robert Deans. I have heard people say that there is an argument that Daniel's the bad guy in the Karate Kid films. I'm going to say I highly disagree. I know that there is an argument. I'm going to say that I highly disagree. And I'm going to tell you why. If Daniel's the bad guy, Mr. Miyagi's the bad guy. And Mr. Miyagi can't be the bad guy. That dude can't pick wrong. You know what I'm saying? He just can't. He can't pick wrong. So I'ma just have to. We just, you know, like if making Daniel-san the bad guy means Mr. Miyagi picked the wrong kid. and I'm
I don't
having
know about
trouble with
that.
that.
Look, Marcus is all wrong over there. First off, it was a Chinese RPG, not a JRPG. Number
All
one.
100 times better than the Karate Kid movies. All right, Perk. You know what I'm gonna do? First 2 episodes. First 2. And then we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I mean, you know.
I'll let you have it. I'll let you report back on that.
Hey, Ty. Let me ask you a question, Ty. What's better? Surf Ninjas or 3 Ninjas? Not 3 Ninjas Kick Back. See what don't count. Surf Ninjas or 3 Ninjas? Which one's better? Then I know if I can even talk to you anymore. You're right, J. Robert. The best thing about that. Oh, I know that's not your argument. I know the argument exists. I was just making a statement that that they're wrong for thinking that, because that makes Miyagi wrong, and I can't live with that. I can't live with that. Listen, Netflix out there on fire.
Mm-hmm.
All these subscribers. Guess what happens tomorrow?
What?
DC Infinite goes live tomorrow. Oh, you don't know what that is?
I don't actually. I do not.
That's a problem. But jokes? DC Infinite?
Yeah. So what did DC? What was DC doing beforehand? Sam, think about it. What did they have beforehand?
With the DC app or whatever to watch the shows on, and they wrote it and they took the shows and wrote them into HBO Max.
Some of them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now DC Infinite starts tomorrow. They done pulled all the video content from it. It's all just comic books.
Comics.
Now. Oh, okay.
It's all comic books now. Okay. All right. So listen, Marcus, there's a reason why I didn't ask you. You too young to know any better. That's why you said 3 ninjas. Which of the 3 ninjas is the better is the better ninja though? Don't say a word. He gotta know. If he don't give me a name, you out of there. That's why you too young. All right, Ty. Surf Ninjas. Why is Surf Ninjas better than 3 Ninjas? There's only one right answer. Heather, I'm with you, but I need you to know why. Nah, so here's the problem. So none of the... All right, let me just run down what's happening with DC Infinite. There will be 25,000 issues available. It is the same price as it was before. $7.99 a month or $75 for the year. Okay? New comics are added 6 months after they release. Okay? Now, it used to be that new comics came a year after release. Now it's 6 months after release.
Okay.
They are adding in Vertigo, Wildstorm, and Black Label books, which they won't be there at launch tomorrow, but they are adding those in. And they are also adding in Milestone Media, which means Static, Icon. Okay. And then there's going to be a set of free rotating comic books every month for people who are not subscribed. Heather, let me tell you something. If I had a prize to give, you would get that prize. You are absolutely right. Ernie Reyes Jr. is exactly the reason why that movie is better. That dude is an absolute G. Hands down. From The Last Dragon all the way up to the rundown. Clean in the rundown. One clean moment with The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Ty, you ain't know that answer, so I don't trust you anymore. Over under that DC Infinite fails before Christmas.
I think it will.
You think it'll fail before Christmas?
No, I don't think it's going to, because I mean, definitely having all your pretty much a good chunk of
Hold
all
tight.
your
Hold tight. There is listen, you can't go back and forth on this. It's Rocky. You can't Rocky or it's Rocky. Rocky's the best of the 3 ninjas. Period. Grandpa is broken. And his father, you right. His pops was in there, but it's really Ernie that does it. You think it's gonna fail before Christmas?
No, I don't think it's going to.
Oh, you don't?
I
You
don't.
think it does just fine? You think it's going? It's gonna.
I think it's going to do okay.
Okay.
Just for the sheer fact, like comic book fans out there, there's absolute ton of them. And let's actually, I'm going to use me for example.
Okay.
There are so many past comics that I just, whether it was I wasn't born or I just wasn't into comics at a specific time, that I would love to go back and actually read. Now, don't get me wrong. I would like to physically have certain copies of certain comics, but with costs and things the way they are, said comics, it's not going to happen. But at $7.99 a month, I can, for like, let's say, for example, the Metal series, which pretty much most of those have been 6 months now. So you're going to be able to jump in, read Metal, and then pretty much be able to get caught up and start reading the new stuff that's getting ready to come out right now. So I think that's actually kind of a clean look right there for people that kind of fell off and didn't get through Metal. But I think it's going to do okay. I don't think it's going to be the slam out of the park, the best thing since sliced bread, but I think it's going to do okay.
So Marvel has had a subscription service like this for quite some time. Marvel Unlimited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's slightly more expensive. It's $10 a month, or $70 a year. So it's less if you pay for the whole year by $5, but it's $2 more a month if you do it monthly.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to be doing okay. However, I think the difference is that Marvel's physical publishing arm seems to be in better shape than DC's is.
Definitely facts.
And I don't know whether or not DC does this or not, or whether or not it will be something that's coming. But like, you know, if you buy a new Marvel book, you automatically get the free digital version of it.
I love that.
I do too. You just put the code in,
put the comic up back in the sleeve, it goes away,
and it's yours. Which, you know, isn't you know, I like to say old school at this point, because that's a thing that as digital started to hit for movies and stuff, they started doing that with DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff like that. Like there would be a digital code that you could get, so you would have, you know, have it digitally. You know, Perp, I'm not Colt though. Come on, man. You know what, Ellis? I doubt it. I mean, they rewrite what the X-Men lore is. They have at least twice over like the last 10 years. You know what I mean? And probably 3 or 4 times over the last 15 or 20, really 30. Now that I think about it. And yeah, Kay, Rocky, my man. I feel like this is, I don't know if this is gonna work. Let me say that as far as, you know, what you're asking, J. Robert. I don't think it'll fail by Christmas. I think that we may see some changes occur to it.
Agree.
I think that if we see it beginning to flail in the wind a bit, it may be more based on what's happening with WB and their ownership of DC as a whole, than it will be directly this. However, I actually do think this is one of the best things they could do, because a DC streaming service that's just for DC shows and stuff they're making up, even if you thought the shows were good, is not worth paying for. Period. There's not enough content, not enough diversity of content for that to make sense. So rolling that content into HBO Max, which is where, as a conglomerate, they want their money to go, right? They need to make HBO Max viable. And it needs to be able to compete with Netflix jumping to 200 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Again, keep in mind, Netflix just pushed their price up again.
Yeah, they did.
Most of the people who are already, those 200 million were already subscribed. It's costing them more per month, and a lot of them probably don't even realize it. I'm positive they ignored that. Listen, it isn't like Netflix sends a message to your TV, you know, when you sign on. that says, hey, your price is going up. They send you an email. You know that joint's in your junk mail. Nobody looked at that joint. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they don't even know they paying more money, right? They got way more subscribers now. An additional 37 million subscribers over the last year.
Mhm.
And they're like an extra $2 per subscriber that was already in. Slim, that's bread. And all of the rival services are coming in at like half the price. Right?
Mm-hmm.
With 4K content and so forth, but way less content as a whole than what's on Netflix. And realistically, if you have Netflix, it's probably worth it to get a VPN and just allow yourself to see all of the content that's actually on Netflix in other regions that aren't the US. Because you can pay for like a full year of a VPN for something dirt cheap and be able to just go on your Netflix and switch your region and watch everything they've got. All the anime and so forth that
that's what I was gonna say.
They can't get into that's here that you really want to go and watch. It's there. It's on Netflix.
Yep.
It's on Netflix Japan. It's on Netflix India.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Like, but you're not getting that. So, and that almost my man Marcus with the VPN. That almost makes me wonder whether or not. See, the problem is Netflix can't, the kind of deals that they have to work, again, because as Netflix continues to push creating their own content, which is the biggest issue that Netflix has. So much of the content that's on Netflix is owned by other companies that are beginning to start their own streaming services.
Right.
So they will continue to pull that content away. So that content library, again, all of that anime and stuff, well, what's happening with Funimation and Crunchyroll and Sony's ownership, and where does that roll into, and, you know, whatever. Peacock, you know, decides, okay, well, we're doing our own thing, so we're going to take The Office. You know what I mean? And we're going to put it here, and we want it to be exclusively available to us.
Mm-hmm.
The kinds of deals that they have to make internationally, you know, to be able to have shows, movies, whatever, that play in one region that don't play in another, you know, it's not like Netflix is really in a position that I can imagine to say, well, how about this? For $30 a month, you can watch Netflix region free. You know what I'm saying? I bet that there are some people who would pay it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Especially if it meant that there were shows that are available in another region that you can't watch in the US because they've been pulled and now they're on Peacock or now they're on HBO Max or whatever. But if you had access to all of it, and you could then stop maybe paying for one or two of those other services and just have one service where you could find it all. My biggest issue with Netflix personally, and I kind of want to get y'all's opinion on this, is they have so much content. And while they do push forward, here's what the top 10 shows in the US are, like they do put that forward to you. There's so much content you'll never see because of the way it is curated. There's not a way to actually go through Netflix and just see all of what there is. And for most people, if you start digging into what's there, even just what they're pushing to you as an individual watcher, it's overwhelming. Like it gives people anxiety. Can't even figure out what to watch. I don't even know what to do. I just wanted to sit down and watch something. Now I can't even chill because there's too many options. I can't decide what I want to do. Jokes, you haven't turned on your Netflix in so long that it almost don't matter. Sin, you don't use it because you use Plex.
Yep.
So for all of you out there in Chatland who are using Netflix or other services, just for real, I don't even need to know if you have Netflix watching anxiety. I just need to know how many services you're paying for and what it would take. What would be the amount that you'd be willing to pay if it meant that you could get all that stuff? You know what I mean? Straight from them. And while y'all are doing that in the comments, let's talk about one other thing. Because HBO Max, since we're on the subject, bro, the rumors are popping right now. And I don't know if y'all heard them.
They are.
What you hear, Sin?
I heard supposedly that Batman the animated series might be making a comeback.
I explain. Listen to me.
I'm just saying.
Listen to me.
That's the fire they need.
Let's make it happen. What we got to do?
Hold on a second.
Oh.
Why you pay for Netflix and Disney Plus and accidentally stars? Because they're assholes? Like, I don't. What?
Wow.
I want.
Was it a package deal?
All right.
I was about to say that was one of those.
Yeah,
you signed up
package
for
deals. You get
14
this, you
days-
get stars
14
too.
days free, and then it hit
Yeah.
my card. Oh, ooh, let me go watch this right quick. Next month.
You know
Let's do
what?
it.
And you know what, Perp? I think you're wrong because I think Disney, the amount of content that Disney has as an entity, period, even before you get the MCU, even before you get to Marvel and get to Star Wars, I think that there's a ton. There's a ton of. I mean, there are shows on there that like my older daughters, who are 10 years older than my youngest daughter, were watching when they were her age, that now she's watching. And they're watching because they on their nostalgia trip. And then my parents will watch Disney and watch old shows that they watched, old movies that they watched, you know, stuff. They can add the Muppet Show, like the original Muppet Show.
Yep, all seasons.
And I'm about to be in for the intro alone.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, I know being Sice right now. As soon as I saw that announcement.
And then when I saw that joint, in my head, it was like, right? I don't, listen. So we got Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max. Now, Marcus, you have Disney Plus and Hulu, but you don't have the package deal. Because I'm gonna tell you the other thing. See, I got all three now because I ESPN Plus, and I'm finna watch Conor McGregor kick somebody's face on Saturday.
Ooh.
Somebody getting kicked on Saturday, and I'm finna watch it. I just want y'all to know.
I'm about that.
Jay Roberts said, y'all got too many. They'll drop HBO Max and Apple TV after the promos. Keeping F1 TV, Disney, Netflix, Hulu. J. Robert Deans, are you keeping Vudu? Or do you just use that for individual films? Yeah, I think a lot of people forget about Prime, K. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, if you have Amazon Prime, you have access to those movies.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people just forget.
I think you're right. Because you never hear that brought up like that when people start talking about streaming service.
I mean, but only when there's something that is specific to them that isn't on anything, like The Boys.
Boys, that's what I was going to say. That's probably the last thing.
Like
The Man in the High Castle, The Boys. Those ones that seem to catch fire for them.
You got a discount for Disney and HBO Max through Hulu. Okay. I mean, again, listen, Perp, the new ideas are going to keep coming because here's the thing. My personal opinion is it's only a matter of time before they take other animation studios and houses that they have, like Pixar, but ones that you've never heard of that assist their other animation studios and have them doing animation, doing shows, doing things that go straight to Disney Plus that don't go anywhere else. Disney prints money. So don't be surprised if they buy another studio.
Oh, no, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Not even in the slightest. Yeah, a lot of people forget about Prime. I guess Prime because they don't, you don't necessarily pay a separate fee for that. Like if you just happen to have Amazon Prime for the shipping,
it's just an extra
you
feature.
have it. So I think a lot of people just don't think about it. Got you, J. Robert Deans. Clearinghouse, man. Hey, did any of y'all ever have one of them subscriptions to like CDs from like
No.
Oh, it was like you buy
like 50 CDs for a penny or something.
Like
that.
Never did that.
like
No, it was the biggest catch on that.
That joint was. Gee, I know. Well, listen, no, Gee, you don't specifically pay extra for MMA, just MMA, but you still have to pay the pay-per-view fee for the major like MMA events. Yes, for the major UFC events. Yes. But they do have like UFC fights and stuff that happen on there all the time that you can just watch.
Ones that you don't see normally on like whatever station, ESPN, whatnot. They have ones that are specifically on ESPN Plus.
No doubt. Here's the thing. Prime almost doesn't care about marketing because they ship in your package.
I was gonna say they don't care.
And they own the internet. So here's the other thing you got to keep in mind. For every other streaming service you own, whoever it is, because literally Amazon owns 50% of the internet, and I mean that, 50% of the internet, their streaming services are running on Amazon's, they're piggybacking on Amazon. That's what it is. Amazon is going to make their money off everybody else's streaming services anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of how it works.
Right.
So they don't really need to, I mean, the need to be competitive is I feel like Amazon just throws their hat in the ring because they can.
True.
Like there really is no reason for Amazon to do a streaming video game service. There's really no reason for it. But because it is a billion upon billion upon $billion business, we got the money.
Oh, and let's do
we already run the internet.
Yep.
Everybody else who playing games is playing on our systems. PlayStation
they can come to us to get all their peripherals, controllers, all that type of stuff. Why not?
Yeah, like they can see they have stolen so much market share from brick and mortar just for video games alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Including digital. Not just physical. Like you can go on Amazon and buy a digital copy, get a code, and then use that code to get it on your system. So like they have, again, data is king. Data is the new oil. Amazon has so much data. It's stupid. And trust me when I tell you, they are selling your data to everybody else who you're already paying to sell your data. So they're just like, people seem to like this. Like The Boys as a whole, if you think about it, like The Boys originally was a DC comic that then they decided was too dark for them. So they let it go. It got picked up, went indie, whatever. You would think that would be a thing that like they would want to have as a show. But Amazon got the money, man. They put their hat in the ring. See what happened to your layout.
Yeah, something weird happened. I'm trying to fix it. I don't know what's
going on. Layout ain't laid out.
Mm-mm.
Do we remember LP albums? Yes. I own hundreds of LPs. And my oldest is borderline obsessed with LPs. She buys brand new LPs from new artists on a relatively regular basis. J. Robert Deans, do you know what the name of the adapter, the LP adapter that allows you to play a 45 is? Do you remember the name of that? Hunters was good. I agree, Marcus. Prime needs to fix their layout for videos, but again, I don't think they actually care.
I don't. Paying for it.
The thing about it is they are also selling you movies there. That's the difference between what Amazon Prime is and what the other streaming services are, is that they are actually selling you product. So yes, there is stuff that you can stream for free, but they also offer you the ability to do Stars, HBO, and other stuff through Prime by going to Amazon Prime and paying for a channel, which is the same thing they're doing with video games, by the way. Like you can do their video game thing and you can pay for like a Ubisoft channel that gives you all their stuff. Like trust me, there's a method to their madness. But the other thing for them is if they curate for you all of the things that are great for you to watch that you don't have to pay extra money for, that doesn't do them any good. They want to show you stuff that's $4. Remember this movie? $4. Get it right here. You're already here. You might as well get it. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. I think I just bought like a couple seasons of Batman the Animated Series on Prime because it was cheaper than buying it through Microsoft. And Microsoft didn't offer it in HD, but Prime did.
I remember you saying that, yeah.
I remember that whole conversation. Yeah. That drove
and
me
now
nuts.
You were trying to figure out the price difference and everything.
In HD. I just bought it. They got me. They got
frustrated.
You know what I mean? They got me. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't hate HBO Max's UI. What's up, Alfonso?
I don't have too many complaints. I don't really have.
Were you a Columbia House LP member? Never did that.
Ooh.
CDs, I remember, but no, never Columbia House LPs. Did you fix this in?
Yeah, I fixed it.
All right, good job. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with HBO Max's UI. I think the UI is laid out the way it is, so that you can't see everything available at one time because they don't have that much content. Like, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of HBO Max, you can see the core. Here's the Cartoon Network stuff. Here's the DC stuff. Here's the Adult Swim stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Here's whatever. And then you go there, and you still can't see everything that they have to offer from that run of shows. So, like, if you're looking for it, you just have to, like, search for it. But honestly, I think they're doing that because they don't have as much content. And they don't want it to look or seem as bare. I guess it's not as smooth as Netflix. But, again, Netflix is overwhelming to look at. You go into Netflix, it's like...
It's a rabbit hole.
Bruh.
Yeah.
It's the deepest, darkest rabbit hole.
It's a serious thing, yeah.
It's it's almost like if you don't already know what you want to watch when you get on Netflix, you can forget it. You can forget it. You better have it in mind and know. And then just go and watch it. Or it needs to be in your, like, you know what's crazy about Netflix that kills me is that, like, Netflix will have a show that's on there that I've been watching and it's in my run of shows. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, they'll lose the contract or whatever, or it's over, and it disappears, right? It's not there anymore. And then they'll renew the joint like 2 years later. And that joint will pop back up in my, like, feed, and I'll be like, oh, you back? You
I missed you.
And they call me. I didn't know you've been dead. Like, what?
Where you been? What you been up to? Oh, you got some new seasons?
Yeah, straight up, man. Also, I feel like Netflix, every other joint, if I go on HBO Max and I start watching a series, that joint will play the entire series. It will just play for me. HBO Max does not ask me if I'm still watching. And I need Netflix to get that together.
At least make it an option.
Yeah, just
at least make it an option whether you toggle it on and off. Yep.
What are you doing?
That should be simple enough to do.
Y'all made $2.4 billion.
Can't do an on-off switch.
You can't give me a toggle switch.
Just a quick on-off button. That's it. That's all I need.
Give me a toggle switch. You know what I mean? That's all I'm asking for. Like, I'm gonna tell you, because you can tell that, like, minuscule things that have to do with UI that save you the minimalist amount of time mean so much to people. Because if y'all don't remember I added the skip intro.
I love it. Oh, I love the skip intro.
Are you kidding me? And you watch a lot of anime, dog. You need a skip the last episode of Dragon Ball Z option. I need to skip that.
No, I need that on One Piece. Good Lord. It'd be 12-minute flashbacks. Like, come on, bro. I just watched this. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
Episodes are actually only 7 minutes long.
Yeah, like, let's just go. Come on now. just give me to the 5 minutes.
All right, listen. Let me tell y'all something. We not gonna get into monster movie madness. Like,
I'm indifferent. I just want to see it. I'm indifferent. I don't care. I just want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not picking a side. I like both of them. I just want to see them go at it. That's it.
Hey, dog, listen. That joint is in my queue. I'm finna watch that Warrior joint. But listen, again, I'm super skeptical. Like, I looked at it, and I was like, this joint look like it might be cheesy. This joint look like I might be upset. And I hate to waste my time with something that's really bad if I can at least feel good about how funny it was to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And bad kung fu flicks are like really never worth the time, most of the time. But I got a few joints in the pocket out throw at you. But if you listen, just if you're gonna make suggestions for me, I just want you to understand that like Jackie Chan Drunken Master 2,
Greatest.
best fights he's ever made.
Greatest.
They are listen, every fight in that joint.
Period. Point blank.
Is the best fight scene ever
Period. Point
made.
blank.
Period. And if it's not even close to that level, stop
Don't
talking.
want it.
Stop talking to me. And like I can watch and listen, I can watch like as a person who is like old school again, like Shaw Brothers,
Facts.
like slow, like Golden Arms, like
Yeah, them jokes was
like
fire.
that's corny, man. Like I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like old like Gordon Liu, like
Gordon Liu was a beast.
he is a beast. He was a beast.
You know what I'm saying? He was a beast, yeah.
But
Shaolin and
still,
Wu-Tang,
bruh.
oh, one of my all-time
Yeah,
favorites.
like all day. Like, listen, I'm in for all of that kind of stuff, right? So I get that. If you putting the Warrior up with the Raid
He did.
too?
He did.
Hey Ty, listen, Ty, that's strong, Ty. All right. That's two suggestions that Ty made. What do y'all think he goes 2 for 2?
I got he'll be 1-1.
Nah.
I think he'll be 1-1.
1-1?
I think he'll be 1-1.
All right. He want me to watch 2 martial arts based joints. Cobra Kai and the Warrior.
No. Have just like I had to do with Marcus. Have him pick one, stake his name on one, and see if he can pass the test. So Ty, pick which one you want him to watch. Not both, just one.
Nah, I mean, listen. I watched the first 2 episodes of Cobra Kai.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 3 seasons. I'm not gonna watch 3 seasons. I can tell you that now. That's not happening. I don't binge like that. That's not happening. But like, I watch the first 2 episodes, and if I like it, I'll keep watching it. And then if I like it, I'll let them know. You know what I'm saying? I'll report back in next week. I'll report to you on Grand Theft Auto in 2 days. You know what I'm
He
saying?
said Warrior.
Warrior.
He said Warrior.
All right. Pick
Okay,
Warrior.
here comes J. Robert.
Soul of the
You know what?
Dragon.
This is how it happens, Jay Robert. Oh man. Nothing else that really compares to those 2. Cobra Kai and Warrior. All right. I mean, I'm with it. Like, listen, one of my favorite movies of all time is Big Trouble in Little China. And the fights in that joint are garbage.
Oh yeah.
But that movie is so
Classic.
The fights are garbage, bro. Like, they're terrible. Like, John Carpenter don't know nothing about doing any kind of like kung fu. You know what I mean? Like, that joint is just, it's wrong. You know what I mean?
Fun
Old
in the air,
Ninja
side to
joint.
side.
Yeah, American Ninja, all them joints garbage.
Michael
I love
Dudikoff.
Dudikoff, garbage,
Trash.
bro. Garbage.
Trash.
Michael Dudikoff, garbage, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like Sho Kosugi, Nine Deaths of the Ninja, all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? It's actually still garbage. Like, if you look at it now, it's garbage. It is. It's garbage now. It's like 80s level garbage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how like saying like, you know how Hard Boiled and The Killer, 2 of the
classics.
best gunfight action joints ever, classic, whatever.
Yeah.
But for real, like now, like
Oh
they don't
yeah,
hold
I'm
it.
pretty sure you go back and watch it now. It's
Do it, bro. Like, listen, do
easily.
it.
I will do it in a
John Wick
heartbeat.
1, and then watch John Wick 1, and then watch.
And I
Hard
just
Boiled
watched
Warrior.
John Wick 1 again recently.
Yeah. All right. So then just watch The Killer, and you're gonna love it because you just remember it. But you're gonna, you know,
I'll probably do
what I'm
Hard
saying?
Boiled.
Yeah, Batman means Black Dynamite does not make that joint good. What's wrong with you, Ty?
Yeah. It's not actually Black Dynamite.
Hey, Robert Deans, get out of the comments. You can't stand Big Trouble in Little China.
Hey, he never fails.
Oh,
He's consistent.
Hey, bro.
He's consistent.
He is very consistent. Wait, what?
Oh,
You
Egg
got
Shen.
green eyes. Egg Shen, you never could beat me. What? Are you kidding me? Hey, dog, listen. And it's terrible. It's
I can watch that joint all day.
It's terrible, but dog, that joint. Come on, man. How can you hate that joint? Like, you can't stand it. You can't stand it. Like, it's
Chinese girls don't come with green eyes.
hey, dog. Two gal with green eyes, bruh.
That show was dope. I'm sorry.
When my man Thunder blows up, dog, when he get out, it just, bro. Bruh.
Oh,
That
was
joint,
good.
boy. Nah. Listen, let me tell you something. If Shang-Chi is not right, I'm going to be the first to let you know. Because I was the first person to be like, oh, this Netflix joint. Oh, this is terrible. Like, you can't. You. I don't.
you on the bench right now, Marcus. Stop recommending stuff for me to watch. I haven't seen it. I got it. You on the bench
I
right now.
Gangsta. That sounds like. That don't even sound.
But I do
Right.
have it.
Jokes, they telling you leave the island. They're just like, yeah, you don't even know nothing about none of this. He's
Hey,
just like,
I can't. Hey, I wasn't born. So hey, you guys put me onto a lot of stuff. So if it's once you say it, then it gets added to the pot, and I start watching it. Hey, I can't be upset. Like if I wasn't born, it ain't nothing I can do about that.
But
Ain't nothing I can do about it.
You seen The Last Dragon?
Long time. It's been a very long time, but yes.
All right.
Kiss my Converse.
Kung Fu Hustle tight. Kung Fu Hustle is one of them joints. Show is it's the joint about soccer too. That joint fire too, yeah.
Shaolin Soccer?
Yeah, that joint is fire, bro. You know, cause it's over the top, and so you kind of know what to expect. You know what I mean? Like again, like there's certain joints like I don't necessarily like a lot of wire work in the Kung Fu joints that I do watch, but when they come from when they're based in like that era, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Like so then I don't really mind it so much. I don't know if Bruce Leroy is the GOAT. I don't know if I'm gonna give him GOAT status.
Nah.
My man, hey man, what did it look like? I don't even know. I ain't ready to give my man. Oh man. Listen, let me tell you something. That's Kim Cattrall's best role she ever played. Was in that joint. It's better than Sex and the City. Yeah, the Asian stereotypes are terrible. But at least there were actual Asian people in it. Yeah, listen. The Last Dragon is different. See, the thing about The Last Dragon that's dope is the glow. Like that's it. It was like they stole a little bit of Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like at that time when they were making like American like martial arts films, they never gave the Americans like actual powers that came from the actual study. That kind of actually harkens back to like actual original like Shaw Brothers type kung fu flicks, right? Hey, you right. Lucinda was a dime, but Surf Ninjas is better than Three Ninjas. We already had this discussion, so stop bringing up Three Ninjas. You know what I'm saying?
That Dragon Tiger Gate, that joint fire. What's bad
What?
about that? Yeah, Dragon Tiger Gate fire.
Donnie Yen.
Oh yes.
Donnie Yen in that joint.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Donnie Yen used to be garbage. He used to be so weak. Everything that dude was in was garbage. When he did Ip Man, and that's not really the joint. That's the joint that put him on for most people, but he was already like starting to take the reins from Jackie at that time. Jackie
SPL, the first SPL and some other joints, yeah.
SPL fire. And that's the other thing because he was with in Dragon Tiger Gate, he was with Sammo Hung. Sammo is a tried and true He was the bad guy. He was the villain.
Oh yeah, because it was Donnie Yen and Nicholas Say. They were the two dudes in the joint. Yeah, going up
And the
against
thing
him.
about
Yeah.
it is that one is full of like powers and abilities or whatever. But here's the thing:
That opening
Dragon
scene is
Dagger
dope
Gate-
though. That opening scene in the coffee house or whatever.
It is,
Oh.
but the thing about it is, it's based on one of my favorite comics. It's based on a
Right,
J
I know
Man
that,
comic.
yeah.
And so that joint, I was looking for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed that in my life because those comics were like some of the best. You know, like I was in that niche that like when everybody was going to the comic book store and grabbing the Marvel joints and all that, like yeah, I was doing that, but I was on Bloodsport Dynasty. You know what I'm saying? I was Tiger Wong and like I was on all of that. And J-Man Comics, like I was pressed to get them joints like imported. Like I need these joints. They're so hard to find now too. Listen, Cuddy. Don't let the fact that you was already in love with the white girl with green eyes from that movie overshadow the fact that like when you saw her in Sex and the City, it was like, oh,
I think that's what it is.
Like,
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying that the character wasn't a thing, but she was basically Blanche Devereaux in Sex and the City. Like she's like technically Sex and the City is Golden Girls, but they're still young.
Yeah.
Blanche Devereaux. Like that's all they just stole. Like because Golden Girls for real, for like geriatric aged women on a TV show, they were pretty fly. Like they outfits was fly, fresh with the pearls, whatever. And Blanche was like, I mean, she was Kim Cattrall character. That's real talk. Legend of Shadowless Sword, I'm unfamiliar with. By all means, put me on. Shoot me a DM, a message, what have you.
Yeah, that's not ringing
Listen,
the bell.
we can go on and on about these old shows and so forth all night. We're not gonna. We got to get prepared for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow's cutscenes. So we do have that popping off. So I want to make sure that we're ready for that. Sin, you got a job to do. If you would, please.
So let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson. Thank you all very much. We truly appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts.
Jokes, my guy, you got a job to do.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you would, please, I'm gonna have you do one more thing for me in a second. I'm about to drop something in here for you into team standards. So listen, I'll drop it in general.
Cool.
Pop General, I didn't tag you in it, but Pop General, if you could grab that image and put that image up for me, Jokes, I would appreciate it. Betty White might actually outlive us all. Happy birthday to her. Recently.
On facts.
Fresh 99. Good night, J. Robert Deans. I appreciate you being here as always. Look, the link tree is in the chat. Feel free to jump on there. Again, if you're following us on one place and not on the others, it helps us out a lot. You go on and you actually hit the like when you comment and when you follow us in those places. That definitely helps us. Make sure you check us out on Patreon because, again, that's where you're going to get our full-on thoughts about what's happening in WandaVision, all spoilers. But we will have shortened versions of Spoiler Boys for every episode of WandaVision as they come out. They will hit the following Monday. We want to give people time, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to watch, catch up before we do any spoiling. But those will go up in MCU chat, and they will stay in the spoiler section of MCU chat. So if you are not a member of MCU chat on Facebook, by all means, there is a link in the chat somewhere. You know what, Jokes? If you can, maybe put that back in just in case anybody who wasn't in and missed it or isn't in MCU chat.
Because the picture thing ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Okay.
If
you can't get it, you can't get it. It's cool. So listen, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 30th.
Yes.
We will be participating in it is a 24-hour live stream that is starting on 8 p.m. on the 29th, so the Friday before, and going at 8 p.m. on the 30th. For the 3Bs Foundation, which is a local organization to us here in the DMV that supplies baskets for women who have had mastectomy surgery following, for breast cancer. And we think it's a really, really worthy cause. Our friends at Uncanny Nerd are making that happen. And they were gracious enough to invite us to participate in it. And so we are absolutely happy to do so. So for 2 hours, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., we are going to be deciding the top 10 DC animated films of all time. We'll be joined by BP from Black Squadron Podcast and also from Uncanny Nerd, and possibly one other guest. I'm working on that. So by all means, feel free to jump in, check us out there. But they will have many, many other people, including folks like Ming Chen from Comic Book Men, who are going to be coming on and doing some stuff with them there. So, feel free to tune in at any point during that time. We are going to have a post that's going up about it soon. You'll see that on our Facebook page and across the rest of our social media, along with a link that will allow you to go. There is a Facebook fundraiser that is already live for it. So again, you can go and you can donate there now. So we want to make sure that we build proceeds for such a worthy cause. It is partially happening because we want to help support a friend of ours. And they don't really want a whole lot of spotlight put on them, so we won't talk about that. We just want you guys to help us show some support to a great foundation that's doing things for people in need. So if you guys would do that, it would be super awesome. Tune into that. I think we're going to have a really good time. Sin, have you started kind of getting your list together?
A little bit, yeah. I've had to take a pause on it to get some anime stuff done, but I'm going to jump back on it probably heavy between Sunday and next week. Jump back on it heavy. I have an idea of what my top 10 are, but I got to go revisit that and a couple ones outside of that just to make sure I get it right. So, yeah.
Okay. So, how about you? You started working on that list?
Putting it together. I'm actually reviewing. This is a long weekend for me. So this is going to be my time to kind of go back and revisit right now.
I've been going back and rewatching some stuff with Edie that she claims she never saw, which probably is because at the time they came out, she might just have been a tad
little bit too.
Now I don't care. You can sit down and watch all that. You want to see Bad Blood? Let's do it. You see Red Hood? Let's do it. Well, she's seen Red Hood like a ton of times. But yeah, so we'll be working on that. So we greatly appreciate that. Again, we will go live tomorrow. Listen, jokes. Should we do 8:30 tomorrow? Are we good?
Oh no, I'm good. This is my long weekend. I'm here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because it's supposed to be MagFest.
Supposed to be MagFest, but
R.I.P. Live.
I wasn't giving up my time off, so I kept that.
My man.
Oh, Mari, you'll be awake. We'll make sure you're awake for that session. It'll be okay. All right, so 8:00 tomorrow for cutscenes. We got a lot of video game news to talk about, so we'll do that tomorrow. We're looking forward to seeing y'all then. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. With that, we are out. Toodles and loos. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate it.